Hello everyone and welcome to another one of my videos. Today I am going to be reading, well, a fanfic done by, who was it? Unaiden 308. No, I'll do that one later. Today I'm going to be doing chapter 1 of Luna's Librarian, Twilight's Moon, which is going to be a series and put into a playlist so that you guys can watch it all once it's done. Anyway, and the last video, of course, will be the last chapter with a special guest, and after that, we will interview the author of this fan fiction book. Now, this is a Twilight fanfic, which is possibly my favorite, mainly because, well, Twilight and Luna go together. And before I get into this story, I'm going to get into why I like Twilight. Twilight Luna, to me, well, Twilight and Luna go together in my mind, mainly because they are both socially awkward. They are both lovers of the night, not the way you think right now, at least. Not in a sexual way, but both love the night. And, well, it's Twilight and Luna, for crying out loud. Two of the most relatable characters in the show. For me, anyway. And in future episodes, or in future videos, you will hear me talk about Twilight and Luna a lot more. Anyway, without further ado, I introduce to you Luna's Librarian, Twilight's Moon. Chapter 1, Plan C. Plan C. Parting a warm pink and white feathered embrace, Celestia's furrowed brow clashed with her kind and beatific smile. I didn't want to interrupt your vacation with Captain Armin, but I felt it was necessary. Thank you for coming on such short notice, Princess Cadenza. Cadence, Auntie, giggled the smaller mare. You know I can't stand formality around family, even surrogate family. At a motion from Celestia, she stepped back to take her seat at a plain and time-worn table, and her smile vanished. I came as soon as I could. Your message said you had something critical to discuss. Something about the future of Equestria? Should we be gathering the elements? Not at the moment, Cadence. There is indeed a growing threat to Equestria, and though the emergency is still far off, I feel it would be prudent to be prepared. The alabaster princess sank her hunches on a cushion across the table and took a deep breath as she closed her tired eyes for a long moment. The problem is your other aunt, so to speak. I fear the elements were not entirely successful in exorcising the nightmare from Princess Nina. If I'm right, the elements and I will not be able to stop her again. That's where you come in. Eyes wide, Cadence recoiled and gulped visibly. Me, Auntie? You're kidding, right? If you can't stand against Nightmare Moon, what makes you think I can? Celestia stared down, scratching a hoof across the table and tracing lazy circles as she spoke. Directly, no. You couldn't. The first time I banished Nightmare Moon, I did so by wielding all the elements personally. I was successful, but unfortunately, doing so is a one-time affair. And as I expected, it broke my connection to the elements. Luna's connection was broken when she let Nightmare possess her. That left the elements unusable by the two of us. Cocking her head, Cadence asked, The elements found new bears, so where do I... Across the table, Celestia and raised a porcelain white hoof. She gently tapped her horn, and with a grin, unfurled and fluttered her great white wings. An alicorn? Cadence shook her head and began to inch away from the table. You're joking. I can't do what you do. I don't raise the sun or moon, Celestia. I can barely cook. I can't wield the elements myself. The Sun Princess reached across the table to lay a hoof on the shaking pink pony's shoulder. But you can, Cadence. I know you can. I know the elements better than any pony living, and all my research confirms it. Each alicorn has this power. Though Luna and I are now exempt, of course, you may be young, as ageless princesses go, but you are still one of us, and this is something you can certainly do, should it come to that. Cadence stared down at her shivering hooves, but when she next looked up, her jaw was set and her voice lost its quiver. I don't know. I trust you, Princess, and if it comes to that, I'll do my best. I know you will, Cadence. We must save that plan as our last resort. Of course. There is one other option we need to discuss. Celestia leaned in and placed her hooves on the creaking table. Every endgame I play out with Nightmare Moon shows the same result. Having been defeated by the elements twice, her first action would be to separate and cripple the elements from where they're buried. Something sharp and hard flashed behind Caden's violet eyes. Twilight? You think she'd try to hurt Twilight? Yes, Celestia whispered harshly. I believe she would. Her face was frozen for long seconds before she cleared her throat and continued. Twilight was largely responsible for her last defeat, so she would be a primary target. All the bears would be in danger, though Nightmare would try to eliminate one of them as a tactically easier target, which would break the elements just as effectively. But what can we do? We can't lock Twilight and her friends away in some armored tower out of fear that Nightmare Moon might go after them. I know, Cadence, said Celestia, raising a hoof to her knees. And I have a plan to ensure it doesn't come to that. Last nightmare night, I advised Luna to put in an appearance in Ponyville. I told her it would be better to start her reintroduction to equestrian customs in a small town rather than in Manhattan or Trottingham. The corners of the pink mare's mouth curled into the beginnings of a smile. You sent her to see Twilight. Perceptive, Princess Cadenza. And if you remember your full sitting days, what was Twilight's favorite activity outside of reading? Cadence's smile overtook her muzzle. Stargazing. And what do you think happened between my faithful student and the Moon Princess? Best friends forever, I'd imagine. Precisely. Celestia's grin was gently predatory. Neither of them have any experience whatsoever with affection, close friendship beyond the platonic sort, and certainly not romance. So, sorry, a little yawn there. It's 4:02 in the morning. Raising an eyebrow, Cadence offered, "You're saying you want me to nudge them together, Auntie? You realize that I can't create love, right? I can only bring the love that's already there to the surface or give existing feelings a second chance. Are you sure this is a chance?" Positive, Princess. I know my student and I know my sister. I see the look in Luna's eyes every night. Cadence, when she's on her balcony, Luna's not looking at the stars or the moon. She's looking towards Ponyville, and with a little help from you, I think Luna can have the kind of relationship that would have prevented the nightmare from possessing her in the first place. Ken squinted and paused. So what happens in 60 or 80 years, Celestia? Twilight's not immortal. Celestia's eyes twinkled as she grinned. We'll handle that later. First things first. Alright, that's the end of the first chapter and author's notes. The prompt, that's the power of love, TMP prompt number 2.4, and retrospective and extended author's notes by this author. As with all my thematically linked TMP submissions, this one wasn't written first. It was inserted somewhat later in FimFiction, after FimFiction started allowing authors to reorder chapters at will. This initially caused some consideration with my readers, who at first glance thought Celestia and Kings had either arranged or engineered Twilight and Luna's relationship, as will be seen in the later chapters. This wasn't entirely the case. And here's a little thing he gave Cadence. He says, I gave Cadence the limited love powers talent here. No outright mind control for her. But do think for a moment just how deep that could go. In the comic, Celestia had a long since ended relationship with Sombra before his heel turn. Imagine the kind of confusion Cadence could have sown in Sombra if she'd known about that relationship during the Crystal Empire 1 and 2. Anyway, this is the end of chapter 1, video 1 for the series, and I will do another one tomorrow, and you can go from there. I hope everyone enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button for more videos. And don't forget to leave a comment on what you would like to see after this, because you guys will dictate this channel. I will only do a little bit just to get more content out to you guys, so that you guys can decide what you want to see and what you don't want to see. But I will continue this only because that's what I want to do. But anyway, I hope to talk to you guys tomorrow and in the future videos that I make. Anyway, it is 4:07 Central Time, and it's time for me to get off.